Hi, Ria here again. I'm here to tell you that why designers need to know quantitative data as well. So, let me tell you, I've learned this the hard way. What happens is, if you don't have data, every product discussion becomes an opinion, and opinions usually just waste time, and somebody would have a veto power, would take a decision. When I joined this company I'm currently working at, Push Owl, it was my first month and their biggest event of the year was coming. Everyone was very busy and I wasn't assigned any work. And you know that in your first 30 days, you wouldn't want that to happen to you. You would be worried because I want to make a mark and all that. I asked my manager and he'll just talk to people, read some books, something like that. I wish I had. I didn't got enough time after that to just chill. But yeah, anyway, what happened is at that point of time, since I didn't have much work, there was my colleague who was working on this rewind type of a feature for this. I was assisting her, seeing what she's doing to understand the process and everything that works here. What happened there was, even though she was working very hard on it, she created the whole design. She asked for data as well. She didn't got it because everybody was super busy, and when she showcased the final design version, the question that was asked to her was, actually we can't do this because we don't have this data and some other metrics that was told, and which is why all her designs didn't make any sense, so she had to redesign. And that was like, what? I felt bad. A month later, I got assigned my first big task. So there was a massive product launch that the team did about 3 months ago, and the product didn't show any results. It tanked very bad. So I had to do user research to find out what wasn't working and all such process. I spoke to around 40 people, made a very detailed database, wrote insights, built profiles, the whole thing. I was showcasing this to my manager every single day, and we both were very proud. Being designers, we knew how much this would help us. But while presenting to this wider team, I started presenting this, and somebody cut me off and saying that, Ria, this looks fine, but I feel your data is biased. You just spoke to one cohort, premium customers. We launched it to the people who are very new right now but would grow eventually, and then improving on that we would talk to these higher tier customers. And then they pulled some metabase dashboard that they created while building, and that just disproved my whole story. It was like my opinion versus their opinion, and since they had a lot more experience while building this, even I got convinced that okay, their story is right. That is where I was lacking depth. How I would have known this better is if I would have researched with full picture, knowing more details. So I did what I was told to do, the typical executor's job. But what I could have done is to focus on what next things that others could ask me, what are the other loopholes that we are facing currently. Because if your research is not complete, it could just be you are confident but completely wrong, so it's not going to help you. How you need to do it, whom you need to talk, is important, but also is the quantitative data, because that could give you the direction. The directional correctness comes from quantitative data. Qualitative comes on a second level that helps you prove and build the case for the quantitative data. And that is where a shift happened for me, that I understood that why data matters for people, even designer. Not because you have to become an analyst, I have no aim like that, I still can't write whole queries on my own, but because data helps you answer the questions. What is the real problem? Is this even a real problem or not? And without that, even though you end up polishing the screen, it might just be a wrong screen. And fixing with the loudest complaint, not the biggest one, won't help anybody. So if you work in small teams, try to get this data for your own self. So here is the simplest way I use data now. I don't start with dashboard, I start with flow. Okay, this is onboarding, this is first aha moment, this is X. Then I would track these numbers. I have more input on what these factors are doing for me. Once I have that, what I could do is later drill through these by user sessions and other qualitative methods like interviews. So that is like pairing your data with human stories so it sells better. And that is what you need to do even while building, because otherwise you will end up building the wrong thing. You need to be convinced that what you are doing is the right thing.